play as it's taken by Doughty, and he flipped it to the blue line. Kopitar gets back on side. Just had a little microphone difficulty there. So now we're all set with the game underway here as Jonathan Quick in goal against Cam Talbot. And the puck cleared up to center ice, and the Oilers come across the line and drive it wide to the right side. Down in the corner goes Purcell. Now he tried to pick it up, but it's taken away by Kopitar. Purcell got it back again. Draisaitl is there for the Oilers. Draisaitl with it, going to come in front. He shoots, and a save by Quick. Leon Draisaitl, we just talked about him in the open, and he made a nice move in front of the net. Shot from the blue line. Save made there by Quick. And the puck taken now by Kopitar. Out into the zone, the left side, shot by Kopitar. Hit the side of the net. He shot from a sharp angle, and the puck is picked up now by Sekera. Sekera was with the Kings for a few games the last season. Now it's driven back behind the net, and Cam Talbot cuts it off there. Oilers with it, looking for 8 wins in a row at home. Draisaitl gets checked, and the Kings try to hold it in. Sekera goes for it now. His pass around the boards comes off the side boards and all the way back into the Kings zone, and chased down there by Jake Muzzin. Now out to center ice and chased down by the Oilers back into their own zone. Game just underway. The puck comes up to center ice. Matt Hendricks with it there. Hendricks gets stopped. Loose puck back to the Oiler line, and now Hendricks again at center ice. Drives it down in deep, and Drew Doughty back to get it for the Kings, but it's taken away. Now Doughty couldn't see it for a moment. Here's Hendricks, pass out in front, tipped away. Gabrick went for it. He didn't get it. Back behind the net, battled for by Lauri Korpikoski for the Oilers. He's got it again. Korpikoski tried to pass out in front. Puck comes over now to Pearson. Pearson can't clear. They got Hendricks in front of the net, and a pass to Hendricks, tipped wide, and looked like a pretty good hook there, but play continued. Here is Gabrick. The fans booing Gabrick with a nice move, but couldn't get a shot off. Looked like the Kings should have had a penalty there, but nothing was called, and the fans voiced their displeasure as the puck is picked up now by Brad Hunt. Brad Hunt just recalled from Bakersfield in the American Hockey League, Bakersfield, California. That's the Oilers' American Hockey League team. Puck comes up the left side and driven up to center ice, batted away. Kings go for it, just out of the reach of Andrioff. Broken up by Hunt, and now sent deep into the Oilers zone again. Driven around the boards on the right side. Michael Mertz for the Kings going for it. Puck is out to center ice, and back is Nolan to throw a check, and then a hard check over there against the boards on Muzzin, who got knocked down. Muzzin got hit, and the puck is taken by the Kings, though. Back up to center ice they come. Andrioff, he drives it into the Oilers zone. Talbot cut it off. The Kings want to get a line change. Toffoli comes on. So does Lucic. So does Kopitar. Now here's Doughty. Doughty ahead to Kopitar. 4 assists last night. Tied a career high for Kopitar. Oilers clear it out to center. Kings get it. Here's Toffoli. Had 3 last night. He shoots. It's deflected up off the glass. Kopitar back to Toffoli. Toffoli behind the net, rolled it in front. Lucic took a whack at it, but a save made. And the face-off coming up with no score here at Edmonton.
Of course, the goal of the Kings is to keep the puck in the offensive zone. The Oilers had the best chance so far, but watch the leg extension of Jonathan Quick. The stick is there to make sure Draisaitl doesn't get the move he wants. Then the leg is there as the second wave of backup. Then the Oilers continue to crash to the front. You see the clearing attempts by the Kings. So that's what the Kings, of course, that would be their game plan against the Oilers. Go down low in the offensive zone, out-muscle a younger, smaller defense. But so far it's been the Oilers deep in the Kings zone.
And off the draw here, Dwight King on the ice for the Kings. First game of the season. He got hurt in the preseason. We'll tell you a little bit more about him when we get a chance. Muzzin with a shot and a glove save by Talbot.
Well, Dwight King has been skating for a while now. Of course, it's going to be a difficult situation to jump into, but we were talking a little while ago about the left wing production, and you want that. The one thing Dwight brings, we all know about that, and Daryl Sutter loves it. He loves the fact of having all that muscle on the left wing. Big bodies, get in there, grind it out. Again, timing will be a factor for Dwight. You jump into the middle of the season without having played a game. That's a difficult task for anyone, but back-to-back situation. He's been skating. He's ready. He's been there for the Kings.
Kings win the draw. Here's Martinez with a drive, but it's blocked. Kings scratches tonight. Christian Ehrhoff, Jordan Wheel, and Jeff Carter. So Dwight King enters the lineup for the first time this season. And the puck taken by the Oilers back in their own zone. Almost intercepted by Kopitar. Now the Kings do have it. Here's Kopitar in the slot. He shoots just wide. Rebound in front. Came right back toward Kopitar. He goes into the corner to try and get it. Now Lucic barrels in. Now Kopitar has it again. Kopitar, but it rolls away from him and all the way back into the Kings zone. Chased down by Martinez. Martinez to Gabrick. Gabrick across the line with speed. His shot blocked, and the Oilers can't clear it out yet. Now they get it to Pouliot. Pouliot up the center. Pouliot with Eberle. Eberle chasing in. He got a pretty good grab there on Doughty. Now the puck back to the blue line. A shot wide to the left side, and the rebound comes to the Oilers. Left point. Hunt with a shot and a save made, and the puck taken now by Pearson. Up to center ice. Kings have it there, and it's sent across the line right on target by Gabrick, but an easy save there for Cam Talbot. Kings almost took it away at the blue line, but it got away from Brown. Oilers back into the Kings zone. Left side, check thrown there on Korpikoski. Now behind the net. Korpikoski going forward in the corner, but it was tipped out to the blue line by Martinez, and now the Oilers have to get back on side. Here's Alec Martinez. Over now to Derek Forbert, who got his first NHL goal last night. Here's Lewis in front of Brown, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Puck comes back on the left side and cleared up ahead to center. Oilers want to get a line change. Kings chase it down. Jamie McBain back behind the King net. Now up to center ice. Oilers going to take over their own blue line. Driven off the boards to center. Check thrown by Andrioff, but the Oilers have it in the Kings zone. Then a double team along the boards. Mersch was there for the Kings, along with Muzzin. Puck comes back on the right side. Across the line, Nolan. Taken away, though, and the Oilers come back. Here on the left side, Gazdic with a shot. Save made by Quick. Puck picked up by the Oilers again. Back to the blue line. Right side, shot by Greiba. Save, and Fanning on the rebound as it came right up the middle. The Oilers couldn't get a stick on it. It was Teddy Purcell. Now Nolan in the Oilers zone. Nolan still with it. Nolan, pass in front, just out of the reach of Lucic, and the Oilers turn it back. Great pace now to this first period. Here's Taylor Hall, their leading scorer. His pass in front, then shot wide. Hall threw it right in front, and Purcell sent it wide, and the Kings bring it back to center ice. Hard check there by Hall on Lucic.
Yeah, got good position first, used his skating skill to get there, then took the body.
Draisaitl with a shot, deflected off a skate, the skate of Martinez, and the Kings Toffoli has it.
And there's a good example how a smaller player can control a bigger player by getting to the spot first, then you close the gap, then you finish off.
Oilers in their own zone. Oilers come in 6th in the Pacific Division. They are 13th in the Western Conference and 28th overall. Kings get it to the blue line, but it came out to center ice. Martinez with it. 12:45 to go here in this fast-paced first period. Chased into the corner now by the Oilers and picked up there and sent by Justin Schultz back out to center ice, and Martinez has it for the Kings. Over to Muzzin. Flipped it, a bouncer right toward Talbot, and he makes the save on it. With 12:28 to go in the first period. No score in the game, but some pretty good chances so far. We'll be back.
Back in Edmonton, Hyundai, keys to the game. What's going to go on? What do the Kings want to do? Special teams. The Oilers basically yesterday at practice spent the entire practice on their power play. They want to get that going. We'll see what happens with the Kings. Penalty kill. System. The Kings played so well systematically last night. You want to duplicate that tonight. Then momentum control. It's not like you're going to control the momentum all night long. It just makes sure that if the other team gets it going, you stabilize the game, you get it back. The Kings are known for that, known as a mentally tough team, and the Kings want to put that back on the Oilers. Dwight King once again back in the lineup. First game of the season.
King out of left wing with Lewis at center and Brown on the right wing, and the face-off is going to be conducted once again in the Oilers zone. 12:28 to go in the first period. Now Dwight King comes in to take the face-off for the Kings against Mark Letestu of the Oilers, and the loose puck controlled by the Oilers, and they get it up to the blue line and now to center ice. Lauri Korpikoski sent it down the right side. Kings back in to get it in the corner. Here is Trevor Lewis. He got it up ahead to King. Dwight King His pass right into the skates there of Forbert, though, and he couldn't handle it. And the puck taken back in the Oilers' zone. Now sent into the Kings' zone and chased in by Derek Forbert. Forbert behind the net. Forbert checked there, still has his stick on it. His pass comes to King. King gets it up to Brown at center ice. Brown couldn't find the handle on it. It's taken away by Mark Letestu of the Oilers. He got it out to the blue line, tipped away by Shore. Nick Shore drives it back into the Oilers' zone. 11:40 left to go in the first period. No score in the game. Brad Hunt, just up from the American Hockey League, tried to clear it in the corner. He did, but the Kings hold it in. Shot from the right point is wide. The shot by Shore, and now picked up by Pearson for the Kings. Back into McBain, now back to Tanner Pearson. Pearson up to center ice. Drives it deep in the Oilers' zone, and Eric Gryba back to pick it up for the Oilers. Gryba out of Boston University.
The Oilers kind of slowing it down here, taking advantage of this to get the full-scale line change. Draisaitl, Hall, Purcell out there. The top line out there for the Kings. Yeah, Kopitar, Toffoli, and Lucic.
And a shot by Purcell is blocked and picked up by Toffoli. Toffoli gets it over to Kopitar, and Kopitar sends it into the Oilers' zone. Bain down in the corner. He gets checked there, and the Oilers dig it out. They move it up to Hall at center ice. Hall moves it ahead, gets it back again. He shoots just wide. Rebound taken by the Oilers again. Pass in front. Sekera in front, tipped, and a save, and a rebound to Purcell, and he couldn't jam it in. Back comes Kopitar to center. Kopitar in the left wing. In the middle. Shoots, and a save by Talbot, and he covers up.
No question, the Kings are back on their heels to start. Credit the Oilers. That last attack, second wave coming in. Sekera jumping in from the blue line. Gets it down low. I don't know how it stayed out with Purcell, but it certainly did. You see the Kings in coverage, but there it is. Toffoli got caught by Sekera. 1-2, and then Muzzin saves a goal once again. It's either going to be Muzzin or Purcell. It's Muzzin. It's both. It's everyone helping out, finally getting back. But we'll take a look. Isolate Jake Muzzin right here. You've got to control the stick of the opposition player if you can't get the body, and Jake gets the puck and stops the puck.
Kings win the draw. They get it into Mersch, back behind the net. This line has Mersch, Andrioff, and Nolan for the Kings. So the puck taken now by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for the Oilers. Throws it off on the right side. He goes into the corner to pick it up again. Checked there by Nolan. Eberle comes in. The Kings knock it loose and taken by Michael Mersch. There's Mersch to center ice. Still looking for his first point in the NHL. Puck comes on the right side to Andrioff in the Oilers' zone. Now Justin Schultz. His pass held in at the blue line by Forbert. Pass in front, rolls through, and the goaltender Talbot tips it away, and the Oilers have control. Edmonton has outshot the Kings 9-4 here in the first period. Back to center is Nugent-Hopkins. Drives it into the Kings' zone. Comes around to the blue line. Shot from there, and a save by Quick, and he hangs on. The shot from back of the blue line by Hunt, and Quick made the save. 10-4, the shots favoring the Oilers.
Yeah, in the driver's seat it is Tyler Toffoli, tied for the lead in the NHL, plus 21. Leads the team in goals. Of course, last night, a good night for Tyler Toffoli. I was talking with Jack Farrar the other day. Of course, he's an assistant to Dean Lombardi in the Kings management. And we're just talking about Toffoli, and I mentioned a couple games ago, I feel he's the best board winger on the Kings team. And he just does so many things right now, but of course, when he scores, that's what stands out.
Face off in the Kings zone. Nick Shore facing off for the Kings. Shore is out with Pearson and Gabrick, and Shore wins the draw from Nugent-Hopkins, and the puck cleared up the center to Gabrick. Gabrick's got some speed tonight. He comes down the left side, but it's taken away from him. Kings try to hold it in. They do. Kings with it. A backhander just wide by Braden McNabb. Now thrown in behind the net. Pearson goes for it there. Pearson up the middle. Shore with a second chance, but he shot it wide. He missed on the first one. Got his stick on it again, but sent it wide. Now chased in toward the back of the net. Oilers trying to get control of it, but Pearson is there for the Kings. Shore looking for the loose puck. Puck comes loose to Jordan Eberle. Eberle got it out to center ice. Broken up there and over to Drew Doughty. Doughty with a drive and a save by Talbot. Puck is picked up and brought back up to center now by Darnell Nurse. Throws it down in deep. And the Kings have it in their own zone. They get it over to Toffoli on the right wing. Toffoli snaps it into the Oilers zone. Comes around to Lucic. Lucic trying to leave it for Kopitar, but the Oilers take it away. They get it out to center ice, but the Kings break it up there. It was broken up by Muzzin, and now the loose puck back of the King blue line to Kopitar. Andrei Kopitar now with 26 points, third in scoring on the King team. 19 points in his last 16 games for Kopitar. Hall with it for the Oilers.
It looks like the Oilers are electing again to go big line against big line for tonight's game.
Muzzin to Brown. Brown driving in. Down behind the net. Still has it on his stick. Brown to the slot. To Doughty. Shoots. Blocked in front. Brown hit the post. Brown on the left side had a good chance and rang it off the post.
Trevor Lewis, Bob, just made a poised play right there. The rebound, loose puck was there. Instead of shooting, he spotted the open man.
Now here is Lewis. Shoots up high over the net. Puck comes on the right wing side to Dwight King. King, Lewis, and Brown. This line for the Kings. Puck comes to the blue line. Held in there. Over to Doughty at the right point. He got it from Forbort. In deep behind the net to King. Dwight King. King with it. His shot deflected up high and into the corner. The Kings have it again.
Great shift by this line to get things going back the Kings' way.
Lewis with a shot. Came through but deflected back into the corner. Now Brown to Lewis. Lewis up the middle. Shot from there. And a save and a rebound. Lewis again. His shot is blocked. Oilers. Taylor Hall cleared it out to center.
That line was dead tired. Right now Doughty trying to take advantage of that.
Now Doughty spinning into the zone. Sends it behind the net. Andrioff trying to get there for the Kings. Jordan Nolan also, but the Oilers clear it out to center. And the Kings change on the fly as McNabb comes on for the Kings.
A lot better now. Again, that line, the veteran line kind of settles things down. You got the big body of King out there. Speedsters, Brown and Lewis, and constant action to keep it going.
Anton Lander took it away. A shot to the right side and a save. Maybe off a skate wide to the left. Puck comes up toward the left wing side, and then a shot from there is wide. The Oilers firing away. It was Lander. And the Kings get it up to center ice to Michael Mersch. We got a penalty coming up here.
To the Oilers. Hendricks took a run right there at McBain. He missed on the play, but it caught the attention of the Kings, certainly caught the attention of the referee. And the hand went up right away. Ian Walsh making the call. So it's one of those where you don't necessarily have to make the contact. There's that nice pass, and the loose puck was there. Now the goaltender Talbot spotted the puck too. And here comes the penalty. Look at Hendricks. Might be a charge. Look at how far he comes. And, he clips him at the end there. You see that? He dragged his leg, the old slew foot. So that could be a very dangerous play. He was already completely in front of McBain, but the last second, so tripping is the official call. And after a flurry of chances by the Oilers and the Kings trying to get back in the game with solid forechecks, first man advantage go to the Kings.
Kings are 17th in the league on the power play, led by Toffoli with 6. Now a check down the corner. Fans wanted a penalty there on Lucic. Oilers dig it out and they bring it up to center ice.
And Lucic behind the play with Nurse. They're going to go at it. Darnell Nurse, young kid. He was the player involved, I believe, in the contact with Lucic. So Nurse just losing his balance. Well, actually maintains the balance right there. You can see how close that was. You sprained an ankle or something like that. And now the kid trying to throw him and trying to earn some points. He's trying to go with a leg takedown and finally wrestled down to the ice. So the hit that took place, Bob, was a counter hit by the Oiler player, meaning Lucic was going in to throw the contact. The Oiler was trying to give it back and then lost balance. And that's the reason the other player went down. So you'll see right here. You can see, yeah, exactly what I thought. The other player was trying to hit Lucic, not the other way around. Both were trying to make the hit. Sometimes you see him lean in there, bracing himself. Now Nurse is the back guy. He comes to the aid of a teammate. Now they both hack and whack together. And for that reason, I think it's going to be 5 minutes each for fighting. And you can see Lucic trying to hold on, go with uppercuts, those types of things. There's where I thought, whoa, geez, that could be dangerous with that left angle. where you lose your balance and you have the weight of the other player down, but I assume 5 minutes each.
Now in front, a loose puck for a moment for Anton Lander, but he couldn't get his stick on it. Kings were there as Doughty was there. The puck picked up now by the Kings. Martinez.
Even though Nurse came across, Bob, he was already there. He didn't leave his position. And then it took a while for both guys to realize the fight was going to happen. So I think a good call by the referee. Good non-call on that first counter hit where it was the Oilers again trying to throw the cold shoulder. And now the Kings maintain the 5-on-4 power play.
Hendricks still in the penalty box for the Oilers. Puck is down in the corner. Gabrick gets held there as he tries to get to it, and still got his stick on it. Over to Kopitar, to the blue line to Doughty. Doughty to Kopitar. Kopitar left wing side on the power play to Doughty. Doughty over to Martinez. Back to Doughty. Doughty back over left side. Here is Kopitar shooting wide. Rebound off the boards all the way back to center ice.
You don't see that often with Kopitar shooting from that position. But that tells me he saw something. He saw the far side. Unfortunately, he missed it.
40 seconds left to go in the King power play. Got Darnell Nurse, who got in the fight with Lucic. Big kid, 6'4", 205. He's only 20 years old. Puck taken now by Sekera, and he cleared it off the boards out to center ice. Muzzin to McBain, and taken away by the Oilers and clear. The Oiler penalty killing, tied for 15th in the NHL. Kings bring it back to center. Shore backhands it into the corner. Chased in by Toffoli. Driven around the boards and back out to center ice again.
And that should be it here. The Kings really never had that much quality setup time. Maybe the best chance was the shot by Kopitar that went wide.
Here's Pearson on the left side. The Oilers back at full strength. Pearson shoots. Knocked away by Talbot. Kings had no shots on that power play. And we are still scoreless here in the first period. 3:50 left to go in the period. Puck comes to the Oiler blue line and taken there and driven by Schultz up the center ice. Tipped away, and Schultz gets it again. He gives it to Draisaitl. Here's Leon Draisaitl. Across the line. His pass. He got hit by King. Now tipped out to center ice on a pass. Is getting his stick in the way was Trevor Lewis.
Kings doing a good job getting back to the middle of the ice. Force everything outside and try to slow down the Oilers before they get the entry. If they get the entry with speed, then they're that much more dangerous.
Andrioff to Nolan. Nolan got checked just inside the line, and the Oilers held it in. Hall gave it to Draisaitl. Draisaitl on the right side in front, a save by Quick, and he covers up.
So the Oilers put on the pressure. The Kings had the power play, the physicality picking up. It's been a fast-paced first period. No score yet, 3:11 remaining. The Kings and the Oilers be back. The Keys, well, 13 shots, 13 saves. The Oilers, Draisaitl early. Again, the stick, then pad, making the stop. In front, bouncing puck. Get help from a defenseman, but also watch the stick of Jonathan Quick right there. He makes sure he gets it as big as possible across the crease. The Oilers continue to throw pucks there. This one in behind, but Quick and Doughty find a way to make it happen, so you get some help from your defense partner. You see there, Quick knew where the puck was. 13 shots for the Oilers. The Oilers also all had 13 block shots. So that means the Kings have had the attempts. They're not getting through.
Kings win the draw in their own zone as Martinez moves it up along the boards and is tipped by Toffoli back into the Oilers zone.
Mersch gets a shift up here with Kopitar and Toffoli with Lucic in the box.
Draisaitl trying to get around Kopitar. Kopitar got a piece of him, but now it's picked up by the Oilers. Taken by Sekera up the head to center ice. He was Sekera with the Kings. He's now Sekera here in Edmonton. Back in the Oilers zone. Oilers have it. Kings come in first in the Pacific Division, third in the West, and fourth overall in the NHL.
A reminder, Tip of King is February 6th, Discovery Cube, Los Angeles. VIP tickets are already sold out, so we thank everyone. General admission tickets, you can get them for just $75. The only event of the season where every Kings player, coach, and broadcaster will be on hand to meet with the fans. Purchase tickets. Please visit LAKings.com/Tip-A-King.
Trevor Lewis on the draw here, and the Oilers dig it out, and they bring it up ahead to center ice. Flipped up in the air by Jordan Eberle into the King zone, and Brown back into the corner to get it. Pouliot is there. So is Eberle. So is McNabb. Brown and Pouliot going for it. Now Eberle digs it out. Eberle's pass comes to King for the Kings, and Dwight King gets it up ahead to the blue line to Brown. Brown tried to bank it ahead to Trevor Lewis. Eberle over to get it. He gets checked there. He gets it into Eric Gryba. Gryba behind the Oiler net, checked by King.
Dustin Brown bent over, Bob. I think he got hit with the puck. He was in on the forecheck, got his stick on the puck, and he may have caught it up. He wears a shield, but maybe underneath the shield.
Yeah, he skated over with his hand up to his face. Dustin Brown goes to the bench.
Well, he's been playing so well. And again, last night in Vancouver, even to start tonight, the best shifts by the Kings have been that line. Dustin Brown on the forecheck.
Kings have it. Here's Gabrick. Gabrick in the slot. Shoots and just wide. Puck is cleared to the blue line and held in there by Gabrick. Oilers take it away. Brad Hunt chips it up to center ice and into the Kings zone. Derek Forbert back to get it.
Good sign by Dustin Brown, Bob, right now is he's kind of bent over, but he's not looking at or grabbing into his eye, so that doesn't appear to be a problem. Probably just underneath the eye.
Taken there in the Kings zone now by Forbert to Martinez. He backhands it off the boards all the way back in the Oilers zone, and icing called against the Kings with 1:07 left to go in the first period.
So you can see right there underneath his nose. So again, you have the protection of the visor. Brown was in on the forecheck. You'll see him get the stick in right here, and then, yeah, slides right up. That happens quite a bit. It's amazing how much more players aren't hurt with it, injured with it. Dustin Brown right now, because you don't have access to the Kings dressing room through the bench like most buildings do. He has to wait for a stoppage, and right there it goes off the end, so I assume repairs. 1:07 remaining here in the first.
Draisaitl against Shore on this face-off, and Shore wins the draw. He's the second-best defensive man percentage-wise for the Kings right now. Puck cleared to center, taken away there, and sent by Schultz back into the Kings zone and picked up by Pearson. Pearson chipped it up in the air, but the Oilers take it away with 48 seconds to go in the first period. Sekera sent it over the right side. Here's Hall with a chance. Hall in deep, getting back as Martinez to send him wide and then take the puck away.
So smart by Martinez. Didn't overreact to the situation, stayed under control, and played the angle perfectly.
Toffoli with 6 goals in his last 6 games. He's got it on the right wing. He shoots and a save by Talbot.
Almost right there under the 7-hole. Toffoli with a little stick handle back and forth and using the defenseman as a screen. Talbot picked it up in the last second. Watch the angle control. Look at Martinez. He's not going directly at Hall. He's going to get to that point again. You get to that point before the offensive player does. And you can see kind of the sideways, if I can say it, the lateral movement skating by Alec Martinez to get the job done. Taylor Hall is a tough guy to handle. He has that speed, but when you take the proper angle, that neutralizes speed. So you have the young forward against the veteran defenseman, Martinez. Outstanding defense.
Taylor Hall with 40 points. He's tied for 4th in the NHL in points and tied for 6th in assists. Now the puck picked up by the Kings in the Oilers zone. Toffoli dropped it in, now taken by Nolan. His shot from far out on the top of the slot went wide, and the Oilers bring it back to center. Jordan Eberle drives it in deep. Into the corner goes McNabb. Eberle is there, but the puck is loose to Kopitar. Now to Nolan on the left wing, and that is going to do it. That's the end of the first period. Neither team able to score. Unofficially, the shots on goal. Oilers 13 and the Kings 10.
Kind of what I expected. I expected the Oilers to have that start. Again, the Kings a late night last night. Never an excuse, but it is a factor. But as the period went along, again, the Kings found a way to get back into it. Get led mostly by the strong forecheck. Lewis, King, Brown doing the job just to kind of settle down the game.
So we're at the end of one with neither team able to get a goal. And when we come back, John Rosen is going to talk with a guy who had a great game last night in Vancouver, Jake Muzzin.
Lexus Intermission Report. We're scoreless through 20 minutes of hockey. Once again, joined here by Daryl Evans. Daryl, from that first period of play, defensively, what stood out over those first 20 minutes?
Well, I think the Kings played with some patience there. They know they didn't have their legs or weren't going to have their legs early on, so they came back. They didn't give up a lot of outnumbered attacks, and that was a key in the first period.
We got more to talk about on the defensive end. Here's Jim Fox coming up right now. We got Foxy here talking a little bit of Jake Muzzin.
Well, I think Jake Muzzin is the beneficiary of a play we saw kind of last night. That 5 men connected. getting support, and that is the green light for defensemen to stand up. If not, you've got to back off. But the Kings were able with forwards to put back pressure on the Oilers a couple times and take away the middle. So you have the Oilers trying to get the counterattack. If you're going to stop right here, you see Muzzin getting in position to kind of come across. He can only do so because 5 McBain's there, but look at the back pressure of Murph. So as you go follow through here, you get one guy from the forward, one guy from the back, and of course the attack of the Edmonton Oilers is neutralized right there because of that sound team positioning. So Muzzin gets the credit for the hit. He should. He controlled the gap. At the same time, everyone else doing their jobs too.
Thanks, Jim. Well, scoreless through 20 minutes of play here. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, story time with Bob, and it's going to be really special here in the teams. The Kings' final regular season game here at Rexall Place, house formerly known as Northlands Coliseum. No score after 1. We'll be right back.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written permission of the Los Angeles Kings is prohibited. Kings Hockey is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the Chipotle Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. Only at Jack in the Box. And by Subaru. Subaru loves promise. Subaru's pledge is to do right by the communities in which we all live and work. Well, I'm sure by now you've heard us all talk about this. Probably is the last regular season. It is the last regular season game in this building here in Edmonton for the Los Angeles Kings. The Oilers are building a new building downtown. Looks like a fantastic arena. Should be open for next season. But as you come in here, you think about all the great hockey moments that occurred in this building. Of course, the great players that played here, led by Gretzky and Messier and Curry and Fuhr, and 5 Stanley Cups in the 80s. And then these fans in this building on December 30th, 1981, had a chance to witness something they may never see again. Wayne Gretzky that night had 5 goals against the Philadelphia Flyers, and it gave him 50 goals in 39 games. There's the one into the empty net. That's goal number 5. 50 in 39. That is unbelievable the more you talk about it, and we'll probably never see it again. Then the Kings, Wayne Gretzky, with a King uniform then, became the all-time leading scorer in the history of the game, and it was in this building again where he'd had so much success. Late in the game against the Oilers, the Kings got it to the blue line. It was held in. Taylor got it over to Gretzky, and Gretzky scored the goal to tie the game and become the greatest scorer in the history of the National Hockey League. They had a ceremony. Then the game went into overtime, and who scored the game-winning goal? Of course, that was Wayne Gretzky scoring the game-winning goal that night. In 1982, a playoff series between the Kings and the Oilers. and the Kings had no chance, according to people, because there was such a discrepancy in points. But in the fifth and final game of that series, it was here in Edmonton. The Kings jumped all over the Oilers 7-4 to win that series. There's Darrell Evans with a shot. The Kings win it 7-4 to eliminate the heavily favored Oilers. Now, when they move into the new building here in Edmonton, you have to wonder, will that new building be able to have the great memories of hockey that this building has had right here? Now we're getting set for the second period in Edmonton.
Oh, thanks very much, Bob. So, yes, it is a building that we're going to say goodbye to. Of course, from the facility standpoint, we want to see it go, but from the memory standpoint, there's many people here in Edmonton, Alberta, around the National Hockey League, including Kings, who've had many great moments here. We've seen many great players, and of course that first period was controlled at the beginning by the Edmonton Oilers, but the Kings did come back and play a stronger second half, and looking to do that, looking to control momentum, looking to kind of slow things down, and that's something they'll look to carry over here into period number 2. The Oilers, what they want to do, they want to continue with that fast pace.
Here's Doughty in the corner, gives it to Kopitar, and the Kings back up to center ice. Back to the Oiler line, broken up there by Fane. Now in deep, and a pass knocked down in front. They had Hall right in front of the net. Kings dig it back out, and Oilers take over back in their own zone now.
There was Teddy Purcell with those moves. We know from Teddy playing with the Kings, and just throughout his career, he's very slinky out there. He's not the fastest of guys, but the ability with the quick hands and movement of puck, he makes those one-on-one moves.
Kopitar drives it into the Oilers zone. Second period just underway here in Edmonton. Eberle down the left side, but he got stopped there. Dustin Brown back out on the ice after being shaken up in that first period. Pass in front to Pouliot, broken up, but the Oilers still have it in the Kings zone. Now up the middle, Pouliot's pass, and a shot wide and taken by Brown. Dustin Brown gives it over to Muzzin. Jake Muzzin got it to the blue line, but not out. Oilers hold it in. Pouliot, left sider rolled away from him, then a shot and a save by Quick, and he covers up.
Quick taking no chances there. He took that one on the stick, but made sure that the puck did not stay alive. And seems like a small thing, but the way this game has gone at the beginning of the first, now the beginning of the second, goaltenders can have that impact at times of slowing the game down at the appropriate moment. Again, that's one of the keys I was talking about, that momentum issue. Dustin Brown back in action. He's got the fat lips going, and I'm sure not that comfortable, but he's back out to play for the Kings.
On the face-off here in the Kings zone, Trevor Lewis facing off for the Kings, and he's going to get kicked out. Now Brown comes in, and the Kings win the draw. Boy, last night they were so good on face-offs in Vancouver. Puck is taken by Brown up the center ice on the right wing. Dustin Brown across the line, passes in deep, taken by Trevor Lewis. Lewis checked there, gets some help from King. Brown with it, shoots, and it's wide. Comes out to the left point. Derek Forbort. Forbort's shot knocked down, shot or pass knocked down there, and the Kings, Dwight King picks it up. He puts it down into the corner to Lewis. Behind the net, out of reach of Dwight King, and taken by Matt Hendricks.
You can see the battle in this game right now. The Oilers want the speed battle one-on-one.
Here in the right side, Korpikoski cutting in. It's knocked away by Quick.
And the Kings want to grind it out one-on-one battle. So each team looking for a one-on-one battle, but in different elements of the game. Whoever gets them probably win the game.
Doughty up to center, and then it's sent across the line by Brown, but the Oilers take over. Long pass to the King blue line, offside called against the Oilers.
Stand up, protect the gap, do those types of things. Daryl Sutter last night, we go back to that game because you don't play many games during a season where it's that good. He just felt that the entire defensive core was doing what they do best, and that is finish checks and move pucks. You keep it that simple. We've seen it tonight a couple times because the Oilers, especially there in the first, they had those attack chances, but the Kings were able to get back with the help of forwards to finish the checks, and when you get it, you move it up the ice.
Kings with a 9-point spread here in the Pacific Division to lead the division. Puck comes down in deep in the Kings zone. Muzzin drops it off, and now McBain gets it up the right side into the neutral zone where Gabrick goes for it. Now driven in deep and behind the net, Cam Talbot cuts it off there. He used to be with the Rangers. Puck comes to the blue line, held in by Gabrick. Now in the middle, shot by Pearson wide. Gabrick goes for the rebound, couldn't get it. Pearson picks it up. Pearson back to the blue line. Jamie McBain back over right side to Pearson. Now to Muzzin. Muzzin shoots, tipped and just wide. It was tipped there by Nick Shore.
The Kings defense are doing a really good job of that lately, and that is making sure you're spotting forward sticks where you can't get the hard shot, but you go for the deflection.
Muzzin drives it long off the boards in deep and chased down, and a icing call on the play.
The Lions would make the decision at the hash mark. It was an even race, but he called it even for the Oilers. Comes all the way back for the Kings. Todd McClellan behind the bench. On a homestand now. First season with the Oilers. And like any coach, he thinks the homestand's going to be good because of practice time. That's what he's saying. A chance to get everyone together, figure things out. He feels his team is kind of flattened out a bit of late, even though we're talking about 7 straight at home. But for a coach, you get it home. Your travel schedule kind of slows down. You get a homestand and a chance to get to practice.
In the King zone now, the face-off one, and then dribbles right toward Quick. He covers it up, and we get a little shoving right in front of the net.
So the Oilers want to get their bodies there. They have the line out there that they want for that type of play. The Kings countering with the same type of thing, but now the Kings, we'll see the matchup again. Yep. McClellan going with Draisaitl against Kopitar. And it kind of reminds me, I mentioned earlier in the open that Draisaitl reminds me of a young Anze Kopitar. But it reminds me here with McClellan at home. He's not going away from that matchup. He's going right at it. McClellan has a young team here. He's trying to teach his players how to play against the best players in the world. And they have a lot of skill. Hall moves in for Draisaitl right now, but it's an interesting matchup with Todd McClellan, making sure his young guys have a tough test and a tough challenge.
Kings get the puck. It came to Toffoli, and Toffoli gets it to the blue line and out to center ice. Taylor Hall had a couple of shots in the first period. He came into the game tonight, second most shots in the NHL with 152. Kings hold it in. Kopitar chasing it down, but Sekera there to get it. Now Fane sends it around the left side, and it is cleared out to center and chased into the King zone by McNabb. No score, second period. Bob Miller with Jim Fox. Puck comes up ahead to center ice. Hall broke it up there. Hall now has had 27 shots in his last 6 games. He's got great speed. Puck taken by the Oilers and back up to center ice. Darnell Nurse. Nurse drives it around the boards on the right side of the King zone. Trevor Lewis trying to get there. Puck comes to the right point. Schultz sends it left side. Nurse shoots. Save. Rebound. Tipped along the right wing boards and taken by Brown. Brown with King to center ice. To King. King into the corner. Can't get to it. Brown comes by. Gives it to King. He shoots. He scores! Dwight King in his first game of the year after coming back off of a broken foot gives the Kings a 1-0 lead.
And you can see the reaction of his line mates, even more so than the normal situation that if Dwight had been playing all year long. And these little tight plays are what usually takes a while to come back, the timing aspect. Right through the middle is King, so he provides that center lane drive. Look at the support. I talked with Dustin Brown about that. Right after the team meal the Kings had at the hotel, and he felt the second man has been so important to his lines of late. Last night it was Lewis on the Forbert goal. Tonight it's Brown on the King goal, where that second man, the F2 forward, is in such good position, so close to the action without smothering it. You're jumping on it, you're supporting, keep the puck alive. Kings lead 1-0.
Well, you know that felt really good for Dwight King after being out since training camp when he got hurt in a game against Colorado. And he gets the first goal here tonight to give the Kings a 1-0 lead at 4:22 of the second period. Kings win the draw just outside the Oiler line, and Martinez drives it in. Brown gets the assist on that goal. Gabrick trying to get to it along the boards. Now it's taken away and chipped just outside the blue line of the Oilers, and the Oilers into the King zone. Here's Eberle. Eberle on the backhand. Tried to throw it in front. It came into the corner. Broken up there by Shore. Shore gets it up the left side. Chased down by Gabrick, but it rolls away from him. He sends it back up to center. The Oilers can't hang on. Here's Michael Mersch. Let's see if he can get his first NHL point. He shoots and a save made by Talbot.
Yeah, he had some support there. Two guys coming in, but the surprise factor, and Talbot did not handle that one easily.
Eberle goes for it deep in the Kings zone. He threw it in deep. Kings trying to dig it out as Forbort throws a check. Forbort has it for the Kings. He gets it up ahead to Nolan. Nolan up the center ice, but the Oilers take it away, and now it's picked up by Andrioff into the Oilers zone. Andy Andrioff, left side, driving in deep. Still has it. Chased by Anton Lander into the corner.
There's a possession play right there by Andrioff. He was uncertain.
Kings with it again. In front, score! Mersch! He gets his first goal ever in the NHL. Michael Mersch came out of the corner right in front, and the Kings lead 2-0.
Again, that possession style of the LA Kings, it is a fixture to their foundation. And it starts with Andrioff. Andrioff decided that there was nothing open in front that was not risky. So he just kept control of the puck. Then he gets support. Watch him hold here. Can make the pass. No. Maybe it's going to be a turnover. Make the pass. No. Maybe a turnover. Now watch the support. Mersch from the front to support. And guess who's going to come out with it? Mersch does, and he scores a lot of goals exactly that way. Now the first goal by King you consider a bad goal because of the angle. This one right here, you can see the stick of Talbot was not working. It was not in sync with where the puck was. But Michael Mersch will do that. That is the strength of his game. Congratulations to Forbort last night. Derek with goal number 1. Congratulations to Michael tonight. First goal of his NHL career.
Well, you know Michael Mersch is going to get that goal. Last night they had to wait to announce Forbort. Then a shot and a score again from the right wing side. And the Kings have a 3-0 lead as Tyler Toffoli gets his 18th of the year and 7th in the last 7 games.
And we're going to have a new goaltender for the Edmonton Oilers. Again, the first goal is a bad angle. The second one's a jam where the goaltender should get it. This one here, shot comes from the angle. The puck is still outside. Now, we see Tyler Toffoli all the time, and we know he has the skills to make that shot. But if you're a goaltender, you have to be in position to make this save. Oh, Talbot, yeah. Good look right there, guys. You can see the goaltender. Look at that. Both feet completely in his crease. That means he's too deep. That means the angles are not covered. And when you put a man like Toffoli in that situation, even if you're on a bad angle, if you're the goaltender and you're not cutting down the angle with good initial position, it's going to cost you. It costs the Oilers. Credit the Kings. They have a 3-0 lead.
Well, Talbot goes out after giving 3 goals against on 14 shots by the Kings and 3 quickly here in the second period. Up to center ice. Here is Purcell. Kopitar and Doughty going to get the assist on that goal. So first it was Mersch from Andrioff. Well, now we get a little scrap breaking out.
Yeah, there was contact after the whistle. The offside, then contact. That was simultaneous. But then the Oilers weren't happy. Draisaitl goes back. McNabb says, yeah, give me some. We'll take a break right here. Kings with a 3-0 lead, and they've turned it on the second period. Welcome to Michael Mersch to the NHL. Welcome Dwight King back in the lineup. He gets the first goal. Mersch gets the second. Toffoli gets the third. Work tonight. Toffoli had 3 last night. Tonight he has that angle shot. But he is capable. Nilsson comes in, 6'3", 2'30". I'm going to go rephrase that. He's a big goaltender. There's no question about that. And there's been that back and forth. Talbot was expected to come in. And how many years now have the Oilers been concerned about goaltending? Expected to come in and take over. That has not been the case.
Kings again into the Oilers zone. Pass by Kopitar in the middle. Picked up now up the middle. Taken from Toffoli to McNabb. McNabb tried to give it back to Toffoli. Now a shot just tipped wide. The shot by Doughty.
Important for the Kings here to keep this type of pressure on. Don't back off at all.
Here's Kopitar. Oilers zone. Kings got 3 goals in 1 minute and 36 seconds. Kopitar, right side, still has it. Passes over to Toffoli. Now to McNabb. McNabb in the slot. Shoots as he went down. A rebound. Kopitar picks it up. Kopitar in front. Shot by Toffoli. Knocked down. And then a shot by Lucic. Hit the side of the net. Puck comes to the Oilers. Kings almost had another one there.
McNabb not happy with the non-call on him. He gets a tackle going here. He's going to go to the box. So it's funny how things change. McNabb went right down the middle of the ice in the offensive zone. He made a move, but it looked like he was taken down leg on leg. You can see he has some words there. No, I don't think there's any question there was a hold there on Draisaitl. But you can see how upset McNabb is. He makes the move, and watch this. That's just leg on leg. We've seen that 2 in the last 3 games. This one is a hold. You got out of position, no question. The dangerous one happened in Arizona, whereas Gabrick of the Kings got the knee on knee. Tonight it's McNabb, and he made the great move in the offensive zone. So the Oilers come right back at it. This is the area the Oilers have been practicing, the power play. They need to get it working a lot better. They feel the face-offs are important. They lose it right here, and also that front net presence to get things going.
Spent their whole practice yesterday just on the power play. They've had 5 consecutive games with no power play goals. Now up to center ice. Schultz drops it back to Letestu. Oilers into the King zone. Tipped away there at the blue line for a moment, but not out. Eberle at the right point. Eberle drives it down the right side. Back to the blue line to Justin Schultz. Schultz back over to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins looking for someone to pass to. Down in deep it goes. Now a pass across over to Eberle. Eberle hanging on to the blue line. Shot by Schultz. Knocked down. Kings get to it and it's cleared. Back down into the Oilers zone. Cleared by Shore.
The Oilers got what they needed there. That's a shot from the middle of the ice. That's what you're looking for. But then the fronting by the Kings defenseman did not allow it to get through. And the Oilers couldn't get the second chance.
58 seconds to go in the King penalty. Oilers into the King zone. They got Purcell in deep. A shot saved by Quick, and he hangs on.
Now everyone driving full speed. The Oilers have the power play, obviously, so that gives them room in the neutral zone. And they made the right decision here. They didn't want to stop it up here. They wanted to continue on the attack. Draisaitl through the middle, and the back check there is by Trevor Lewis. Watch this. Stick on stick. Draisaitl's a dangerous player in that situation. And Trevor Lewis did not stop. He gets to a spot. He gets a stick. He comes in there from behind and slows it down. Stick on stick. It prevents the quality scoring chance.
Kings win the draw, and Doughty slaps it the length of the ice. By the way, Doughty with that assist on Toffoli's goal. He becomes third all-time by a King defenseman, passing Steve Duchesne in assists with his 217th. Puck comes across the line into the King zone. Driving in deep is Draisaitl. Checked by Muzzin. Pass on the left side to Hall. Hall goes down to the ice. Kings dig it out, and it's cleared back out to center. Fans upset. They thought
there was a corkscrew there. What happened, and it was inadvertent, but it looked like Hall got one of the Kings' stick caught between his legs. He went down because he tried the next step, so Kings dodged one there.
Now the Oilers drive it into the King zone again. Here's Forbort. Forbort down the corner. His pass going to be taken away and held in the zone. Shot by Sekera and a save by Quick. Loose puck. Oilers get to it again. At the blue line. Kings are back at full strength. Sekera. Pass left side. Bounces off of the stick of Hall. He drives it behind the net. Kings are back at full strength now. Pass in front. Hall shoots. Just wide to the right. Rebound. Sent wide to the left. As Quick was trying to get back. Sekera with a drive and off the boards. Picked up by the Kings. McNabb to Kopitar, and he clears to center ice.
Draisaitl had the one-timer. It was kind of a missed shot, but he just cranked it up and went wide in behind. And now the Oilers go offside. And that's a big whistle there. The Oilers had control. They made a change after their power play, but the Kings needed to stop it. They really did. The Oilers had some movement. They had it going. They had some bounces going their way, but Jonathan Quick and his defenders, Todd McClellan looking up. Again, that work on the power play, it seemed to have worked there. Sometimes when you work and practice so much on the power play, you become too robotic. I didn't see that from the Oilers. I saw some creativity, some movement, but the Kings keep it out, still have that 3-goal lead.
Kopitar with an assist, now points in 3 straight. 7 points in those games. And Kopitar now 20 points in his last 17 games for the Kings. Puck all the way back in the Oilers zone. Darnell Nurse with it. The young defenseman brings it up to center. Now across the line, pass on the left side, shot, score! Well, that speed and the Oilers coming across. Looked like Pouliot on the left side. And it's now 3-1.
Now the speed was there, and the breakout was absolutely perfect. Nurse started it. You talk about being decisive as a player. He gets a little bit of room, and now he takes off. One pass, give and go, and that's it. McBain put the speed to the outside, and you can see the positioning here of Quick. He has pretty good position as far as aggressiveness, and Pouliot just kind of holds on. Maybe a split second there. I'm not sure if it went far side or between the legs. tough to pick up, but that all started with Nurse. The young defenseman, you've got to make decisions quickly. He does so. Decisive. Get it moving. Oilers back within 2.
That was the Oilers' 23rd shot of the game. The Kings have 16, but the Kings lead it 3-1, and the Oilers back up to center again. Across the line. McNabb trying to get a stick on it. He did. He got it up ahead now to Brown. Brown lost his balance at center ice. Gets back up. Brown to the slot. He shoots wide to the right. Brown goes for it again. Loose puck taken by the Kings. Here's King, Dwight King. He got the first goal of the night. Now Doughty trying to hold it in. He can't do it. It comes out to center, and Doughty gets it to McNabb. 9:25 to go in the second period. The Kings with a 3-1 lead.
And that's a time of the game, Bob, where the momentum from the power play carried over. And the Oilers had a good feel for the game and all that speed that was built up. And sometimes you don't have to score. You just have to have effectiveness. And the Oilers did so on the power play, and it carried over to the next shift.
Well, they had 3 shots on that power play, so you're right. They were moving it around really well and just didn't score on that. But then they got on the board. Kings with a 3-1 lead, and the Oilers again. Taylor Hall shoots, and a save by Quick. And the rebound to Kopitar.
This is one of the stages of the game I was talking about with the Keys, that momentum control. It's now with the Oilers. I know the Kings have a 2-goal lead, but the Oilers have certainly a better feel for this game. Their skilled players have been able to move the puck. This will slow it down in icing against the Oilers. Now the Kings are getting an end zone face-off, so you're looking for any types of these things right now to just settle it down. The Oilers feeling better. The Kings, veteran team, looking to get some stoppages and end zone face-offs right here and take advantage with a forecheck.
Well, the goal by Pouliot is 8th of the year, assisted by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Jordan Eberle at 9:56 of the second period. Got the Oilers on the board. Puck driven around to Hall. Hall in his own zone. Kings are going to take it away. Martinez, he'll shoot. He does. It's blocked into the corner by Sekera. Here's Mersch behind the net. He tried to wrap around, but it's tipped away in the corner. Sekera goes for it. Got position on Mersch, but the Kings have it on a shot. Deflected the shot by Andrioff. He goes for it again. Gets help from Michael Mersch. Mersch down the corner. He's pinned there by Fane.
This is a grind-out shift the Kings need, and Daryl Sutter went with the fourth line.
Up the middle. Shot by Nolan. He hit the post. Nolan hit the post, and now the puck taken by Draisaitl. Up to Purcell at center. Here's Purcell to the blue line, and it is broken up but not cleared. Backhander save made. Rebound and a save. A save on the backhander, and then another save on the shot on the rebound.
Draisaitl, both shots. Very effective there. So even though the Kings had the pressure, Oilers get the chance.
Oilers with it again. Left side. Shot from there. A stick goes flying all the way behind the net.
This Doughty stick, he wants to get it. He's a defenseman. He's looking for something. Leaves the front. He's got his stick.
He's got his stick. It comes out right side. Shot from there. Knocked down. Greiba's shot to the blue line. Kings trying to stem the momentum of the Oilers here now. It's in the Kings zone. Oilers have it. Jordan Eberle. Eberle on the backhand. His pass in front. Wide to the right side. Taken by the Kings, and they don't. Yes, they are going to clear. Up ahead to Pearson. Pearson drives it deep into the zone. Right side. Gaborik shoots and a save. Rebound. Nielsen got that pad out to make the save on Gaborik. Puck dug out by the Oilers. They come back to center ice with 6:49 to go in the second period. A bouncer and a save by Quick. So the Kings have been outshot 27-17, but they lead 3-1.
Players have to be your best players. The Kings have gotten that of late. You can see 2 of the guys, Kopitar and Doughty. Time on ice. What's happening? Arizona right out of the break. Last night, Vancouver. Season averages. So, of course, Kopitar had his highest total ever as far as time on ice. Drew Doughty had the highest this season. So both guys expected to do what they can. Kopitar out there. And again, when Doughty lost his stick that last shift, it was very important. He got it back, and he had to get it back because he was there to clear a rebound.
Kings win the draw, and they get it up to center ice. Lucic for the Kings. Across the line, broken up, and the Oilers have it again. Dustin Brown on an assist on the first goal, the one by Dwight King. It's his 244th, and he ties Charlie Simmer for 12th all-time in Kings assists. Here's Kopitar, took it away at the blue line. Kopitar looks down the slot, tried to move it into Toffoli, and it's stopped over there as Lucic got it on his stick.
And that chemistry is starting to develop. It's been there already, though. Now Kopitar and Toffoli and Lucic understanding the speed and timing of how they play the game, and they continue to get chances.
Here's Muzzin for the Kings. Up to center ice. Pass on the right wing side. Chased in by Toffoli, but he had to go in deep. Puck tipped away by Darnell Nurse. Over to Hall. Taylor Hall with it. Flipped it up in the air, and Doughty will take it at center ice. Doughty's pass almost intercepted, but he got it over to McNabb. That was close. Eberle was looking for it. Here's pass over right side. Shot, score! From the right side by Trevor Lewis. Brown with the assist. And the Kings have a 3-goal lead again at 4-1.
Now the counterattack was there. It looked like the Oilers had enough men back, but then the Kings picked them apart. And Dustin Brown becomes the passer once again. Here it is, up the ice. Watch this with King. He's going to drop it and go. That's his job. Takes 2 men with him. 2 Oilers back off because of the penetration of King. And both defenders, no one in position right there. Looks like Schultz is the weak side defender on that play. He ends up being the defender that should have been there. Breakdown for sure, but it all starts with that drive to the net. Then there was a little deception by Dustin Brown. Kind of faked the shot, made the pass. Kings lead 4-1.
Brown and King get the assist. So Dwight King, first game of the season. Now Kings with a 2-on-1. Here's a pass in front. Brown batted it out of midair and just wide. Thought he was going to get it into that open side of the net. Cleared up to center ice now by Hunt. And offside called against the Oilers at the King line. So the goal by Trevor Lewis, his 4th of the year, gives the Kings a 4-1 lead.
Night for the Kings. Forecheck keeps working. King, bad angle. Off the side of the goaltender. Pressure by Brown. Mersch comes in. Support. Watch this. Wrap around between the legs. Kings take a 2-0 lead. Don't stop there. Angle shot. Goaltender deep. You have the drive on the other side. Short side, 3-0. The Oilers came back with one themselves, but then defensive breakdown by the Oilers. Kings lead by 3.
Long drive by the Oilers and a save by Quick. Kings get it off on the left side, and it's tipped out to center ice now by Forbert. Forbert chased it down. Brown assisted on the goal by Lewis, so now he moves ahead of Charlie Simmer. 12th all-time in assists in Kings history with 245.
I mentioned that goal by Toffoli, Bob. I get a tweet from DSam108, and he brings up a good point. I mentioned Talbot was so deep. He said that's because of the drive on the backside of Lucic. But still, it's up to the goaltender. The goaltender has to play the shooter. But then you see the goal by Lewis, and you understand why maybe the Edmonton Oilers goaltenders don't always play the shooter. Those backdoor goals kill the confidence of a goaltender. They make you think. You got to guess. Oh, this pass is going to be. When you start to guess, that's when you become even more in trouble because the goaltender has to play the shooter and rely on the defenseman to take away the backdoor.
Andrioff won this faceoff, and the Kings drive it into the Oilers' zone. Cleared out to center ice. Taken there by Muzzin. Kings with 4 goals here in the second period. They have a 4-1 lead. Loose puck at center ice. And into the zone. Down the left side, Korpikoski. Korpikoski playing in his 499th career game tonight. Oilers hold it in. Lander shoots. Knocked down. Back behind the net. Oilers with it again. Out to Fane at the blue line. His shot is blocked. Back out to center ice. Blocked by Michael Mersch. Kings get it off on the right wing. Into the zone is Nolan. Nolan with Pearson. Nolan shoots. Pearson rebound. Can't get to it. Puck is picked up by Letestu. Mark Letestu for the Oilers up the center. Taken away by the Kings again. Picked up by Gabrick. Gabrick. Nice pass. Left side. Here's Pearson. He shoots. It's wide. Rebound over to Martinez. Martinez put it behind the net. Settler broke it up. And now Gabrick has it. Gabrick, left side, left wing pass over to Forbert, who pitched in from the blue line. Now the middle, Pearson with a shot. Nice pass there by Shore, and Pearson with a one-timer for the save made by Nielsen.
Now you can see the Kings have kind of stemmed the tide, and now the momentum going back their way. So control that momentum. Friday, it's the start of conference play in the Pac-12. UCLA takes on Washington. Coverage begins 8 p.m. Pacific, FS1, and stream live on Fox Sports Go.
Nick Shore in to take this faceoff now in the Oilers zone. And the Oilers win the draw. It was Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl is from Cologne, Germany. Puck is cleared up ahead and now up to center ice. As you know, I'm sure, Connor McDavid, the #1 overall pick, and it was off to a great start, broke his collarbone, so he is not back yet for the Oilers. Forbort poked it ahead. Here's Gaborik. He's had some good speed tonight. Gaborik drives it off the boards, in deep in the Oilers' zone.
If not for that injury, Bob, we mentioned earlier, Draisaitl might not be here. The Oilers trying to take things slow. That's their new, management comes aboard. But then, with McDavid going down, they realized Draisaitl would get the type of ice time that he needs to develop. Well, he's doing more than develop. He's filling the net.
Yeah, he's had 9 goals, 22 assists, 31 points. Shot from the right side, steered away by Nielsen. Kings hold it in again. Get it on the left side now. A shot by Lucic and a save by Nielsen.
More and more, I'm seeing that chemistry right there between those three guys for the Kings. So there is Draisaitl. He says he's feeling more comfortable. The confidence is up. He said Taylor Hall and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins have been the veteran players he feels that have taken him under his wing and done a good job just to keep nurturing him. You're doing this correctly. He's doing a lot of things correctly. Smart use of the big body.
He's tied for 10th in NHL assists with 22, and he has 5 assists in the last 6 games. Face-off here comes out to the right point and out to center before Doughty can get over there to get it. He gives it to McNabb. McNabb sends it across the line. Here's King. Dwight King stopped there on a check by Gryba. Now King goes for it again. King drops it off along the boards. King's trying to move it down in deeper into the corner and get it to King. King comes back to help out. He's got it up the middle. McNabb couldn't make a move there. Lewis has lost his helmet in that scrum. Now King behind the net. King taken away by Gryba, and it rolls right in front, and a backhander and a save. Lewis had the shot and the save by Nielsen.
That line is just so effective on the forecheck. You have to have spacing. You have to have the safety valve, and they do, but you also have to have support. And when there is a loose puck, you get it. Now, watch this one just to the far side. Good quick shot there by Lewis. The goaltender's down, and you think there's going to be room. It's just off the post. But the important thing, other than the scoring chance, is all that time spent in the offensive zone. Very important right now. 2:13 remaining. Second period, the Kings want to hold on to the lead.
And here's Muzzin after the Kings win the draw. Put it down in deep. Taken back behind the net. Rolled back out in front. Kings get to it. Blue line. Muzzin makes a move there. Muzzin on Lander. Muzzin still with it. Gives it down to Nolan. Nolan protects the puck. Got it into Mersch. Mersch into Andrioff. Andrioff's pass tipped away and taken by Anton Lander. Lander gets it back up to center. He's out of Sweden. Puck comes to the blue line, tipped away there and back into the Kings zone. Kings have it with 1:35 left to go in the second period. Puck comes all the way back down into the Oilers zone. Chased down in there. It was deflected and picked up by Schultz. He gets it up ahead to center ice. Mark Letestu drives it hard around the boards. Out of the blue line, tipped ahead to Lucic. Lucic tried to get it to Kopitar, but it's intercepted by Taylor Hall. 4-1 Kings. Hall puts it back deeper in his own zone. Now it comes over to Mark Fayne. Fayne got it up to center ice. And now we're coming down to 1 minute left to go in the second period. The puck flipped high in the air into the Kings zone. Quick was pointing to it, so King players would know where it was. McNabb got to it in the corner, and now the Kings break out up to center ice. Into the zone, across the line, Doughty to Kopitar, now over to Toffoli, who's got a goal again tonight. 4 goals in the last 2 games for him. Kings with it, left side, Muzzin. Muzzin, his pass, tried to get it over to Toffoli. He didn't get it, but it's held in by Martinez. Now right on the line by Lucic. Now on the line by Muzzin. He shoots and a save by Anders Nilsson.
And the Kings taking control again with that 5-man. Everyone involved, both defensemen, all 3 forwards, everyone helping out on the play. So we're back to that 5-man connected. Open up the LA Kings mobile app. Visit LAKings.com to vote now for the December McDonald's Player of the Month. Receive a coupon for a free taste-crafted burger, chicken sandwich, or a chance to win a 12-person suite at the Kings game. Other great prizes, too, just for sharing your vote.
Kings win the draw. Lewis won it, got it to Muzzin. Muzzin trying to pass up the middle. Oilers break it up. They're trying to get a 3-on-2 here. Cross the line, right side, offside they go. They had the 3-on-2 working, but they went offside at the King line.
It's a little thing. Draisaitl, dangerous player, but Muzzin does such a great job there standing up at the blue line. And he forced the offside. The Oilers are just looking for that penetration, just enough to get in. And you can see Muzzin coming across with that stick, and he makes that extra stick handle. It was Korpikoski, not Draisaitl, but does the job defensively. You force the offside.
Now the Oilers drive it in from the blue line. A save made by Quick. Taken by McNabb. He got it out to center ice. King chasing it down. 3 seconds to go in the period. And the Oilers with it. That is the end of a second period that featured 5 goals, 4 of them for the Kings. Dwight King with 1. Michael Mersch with his first ever in the NHL. Toffoli with his 7th in the last 7. Lewis with his 4th. And Pouliot scored for the Oilers. Kings lead it 4-1.
I'm going to give credit to a lot of people again tonight, but especially that Brown-Lewis line out there involved. Dwight King comes back, plays his first game, and when the game seemed a couple of times to be going the other way, they settle it down. And a big reason why the Kings have a 3-goal lead.
Oilers lead in shots 30-24 at the end of 2 periods. Coming up when we come back, it'll be John, Daryl, and Jim right after this. Kings Hockey is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Mercury Insurance. Get a free Jonathan Quick bobblehead. Learn more at mercuryinsurance.com/kings.
Welcome back to Rexall Place, second period. A lot of stuff happening for the Kings. Forecheck, bodies, pucks. Dwight King, first of the season. McDonald's assists of the game coming up because Michael Mersch doesn't get only his first of the season, gets his first of his NHL career. Reach around, stuff at home. And the Kings certainly took over things in period number 2. Now they have the 4-1 lead. Mersch is known for exactly that type of play. When he starts playing more in the NHL, goaltenders will get used to that. He'll figure out different things. No question when Mersch is on the ice, the puck gets to the net.
Well, he leads the Kings in shots on goal in this game with 4. King has 3. Lucic has 3. For the Oilers, Draisaitl has 5 shots and Hall has 4 and Freiba has 4. Third period underway. Puck is in the Oilers zone. Now they get it to Taylor Hall. Hall with great speed. Goes wide. Hall shoots. It's up high and off the glass. It comes right back in front of Quick. Batted out to the blue line. It went off the glass. Now it's blocked by McNabb. That went off the glass and right back out in front of Quick.
And Hall spotted the fact that Trevor Lewis was the only defender back trying to play defense, and that is a mismatch. Tried to win the mismatch. Guess what? Drew Doughty comes across to help out.
Kings in their own zone, get it up to center. Tip pass to Kopitar, now to Toffoli. He's got another goal tonight. Toffoli's shot blocked there by Darnell Nurse. Toffoli with it again. Pass left side, in deep, and shot wide by Muzzin. Kopitar saw Muzzin coming down from the left point, gave him a nice pass. Now up to center, here's Pouliot. He's got the Oiler goal tonight. Tipped away from him and played by Muzzin.
Back pressure by Lucic, so the Kings continue the 5-man units playing together.
Kings get it on the right side. Toffoli chasing it down into the Oilers zone. Tipped away, though, and Kopitar couldn't get it. Now it's cleared out to center, and the Kings have it again. Derek Forbert snaps it into the zone, comes off the boards, right side, chased in by Shore, rolls right toward the goaltender, Anders Nilsson. He covers it up.
Well, Daryl Sutter will try to roll the lines over, try to get everyone involved. Back-to-back situation, short shifts. We saw that with Dwight King. And Daryl looking on. This is the type of game I know that Daryl really appreciates. He's got his muckers out there doing the job, settling the game down. You got your skilled guys doing it too. He knows it takes everyone. In the last little while, he's been getting it from everyone.
Thursday night, the Kings will be at Calgary. Shot from the right point by Doughty is saved. Now the Kings keep it in and drive it into the corner. Pearson goes for it. He gets double teamed. Shore in to help out. Pearson has it. Tried to give it to Gabrick. Gabrick didn't get it, but Doughty did. Doughty's pass taken away, not cleared, held in nicely by Shore. And now it comes out to center ice. Cleared there by Letestu. Here's Forbert chasing it into the King's zone. He gets checked there, but he maintains the stick on the puck. Got it out to the blue line, but not out. Behind the net, Korpikoski in front, score! Nice pass by Korpikoski to Letestu. And now it's a 2-goal game again. The Kings 4, the Oilers 2.
Yeah, the Oilers aren't, they expect them to kind of get that wide open game going, and this is not one of those types of goals. They just crush it down. Corbett goes up the strong side, and no one is there. But watch what happens after that. Going one way, no, I'm not. That's the deception part of this. The Kings could not get it out, and it very quickly to the front. You can see John Quick still looking behind. He's expecting the puck to go. Look one way, puck's not there. Coverage in front. And the Los Angeles Kings give one up here. 18:01, so inside of 2 minutes in the third period. Lutestu, who's actually been playing with that broken jaw for quite a long time now. He just hangs around the front. Oilers back with it too.
Oilers going again in the Kings zone. Can't get a good shot now at the middle, and a save by Quick off his shoulder. Good chance there right in the slot. Now a shot wide. The shot by Gazdic right in the slot. Now it comes back over to Lander. He let it go. Left side, Eberle. Eberle got it tipped away. He's got it again. Eberle shoots, and a save by Quick. Puck comes now to Anton Lander, and his pass behind the net going to be taken away by the Kings. Can they clear? Not yet. Held in at the blue line by Sekera. Sekera shoots, saved by Quick. Puck comes in the corner. Now the pressure on by the Oilers. They feel they're right back in the game. Here's Luke Gazdic behind the net, checked by Andrioff. Andrioff has his stick on it, gets it to Michael Mersch. Mersch pinned along the boards there, and who's going to get the loose puck? Oilers at the blue line. Oilers with it in the slot. Shot saved by Quick. Rebound tipped under Quick as Martinez tipped it underneath, and now everybody pushing again. Michael Mersch is in there.
He comes to the aid of Martinez. Hall was involved. So the Oilers get back within 2, then they keep the pressure on the offensive zone, activate defensemen, and the Kings get themselves in a little trouble off the shoulder, off the crossbar, and keep it a 2-goal game. Right down the middle, Draisaitl, he tees it up. Now, I think it's Andrioff. Yeah, right there. He spots the fact that maybe he's got a chance to control things here, but he does exactly that. At the time, it seems risky, but Andrioff was completely in control. He just batted the puck and put it right under the glove of Jonathan Quick. Forward getting back to help out. Oilers want to get the next one here to get back within one.
The Oiler goal by Letestu is 5th of the year. They've got it again into the Kings zone. A sharp angle shot, save made. Puck comes into the corner and taken by Kopitar, but a penalty against the Kings.
Hooking's going to be the call against McNabb. He didn't like the call. No one really does. Gord Dwyer, the referee, says this it was.
Number 3, 2 minutes.
Daryl Sutter, you can tell, just that momentum factor. One of the keys to the game where you just try to hold it as much as possible. But now the Oilers get the chance with the man advantage. So right in front, then McNabb had an argument. What happened there was Pouliot used his arms and kind of grabbed the stick, clutched the stick back underneath his own arms. And McNabb could not go free. Stick caught underneath into the midsection. Oilers by 1-4 power.
They're 0 for 1. They had 3 shots their last power play. Shot from the right point, save, rebound, save again on Letestu. He was right in the slot, and Quick made the save. On that goal by Letestu to make it 4-2, Korbakowski and Sekera got the assist at 1:59 of the third period. This is what the Oilers wanted, Jim. Get an early goal in the third and get right back in the game. Face off in the Kings zone. Oilers on the power play for another minute 50. Kopitar against Letestu. Oilers win the draw. Blue line. Sekera moves it right side. Oilers on the power play, down and deep, and a shot saved by Quick, and a loose puck swept away there into the corner by Doughty. And it comes off the boards out to center ice.
Simplifying the plays on the power play. Another thing Tom McClellan said, they were being too fancy early. Now they're just throwing it to the net, and they're getting to loose pucks.
Drop pass back to Nugent Hopkins. Now in the Kings zone. Here is Sekera, right point, shoots, tipped in front, loose puck left side. Kings get over to get a stick on it. It was Pearson, and he clears back into the Oilers zone.
That time just the hunger of Tanner Pearson. Use of the sticks first, then use of the body to get it out.
Sekera starting back out, coming down to a minute left to go in the King penalty. Pass left side to Taylor Hall. Hall drops it back, now in deep, left side. Oilers still with it now, Hall. Hall on the left wing side. Up the middle to the blue line. Shot from there, tipped away off a stick of Quick and wide to the left. Oilers still with it. Back to the blue line, held in there at the left side. Hall goes for it again. Kings try to clear, can't do it. A drive is wide to the right by Hunt and out of play. They brought him up to try and play the point on the power play. Brad Hunt from Bakersfield, California, and he got a pretty good shot there, but it was deflected.
Drew Doughty playing some defense right there, getting down to his knees. When you're unsure, just protect. Children's Hospital Los Angeles saving the game. We're going to give that one to Drew Doughty. Helping out the goaltender, but the Oilers continue to keep it simple, and it's effective right now. No goals yet on this power play, but they're getting chances.
Anton Lander on the draw with Kopitar. Kopitar wins the draw, and the Kings clear it back into the Oilers zone. Cleared by Muzzin. 30 seconds to go in the King penalty. We're in the third period. Bob Miller with Jim Fox. Kings with a 4-2 lead. But now the Oilers with some momentum on the power play. Here's Anton Lander. He puts it down in toward Purcell. Back behind the net. Tipped around to Hall. Hall's pass up to the blue line. Held in by Hunt. Now on the right side here in front. A shot just off a skate wide to the left. Hall with it. Hall to the blue line again. Brad Hunt right side up the middle, and the shot deflected. Hall picks it up. Back to Hunt. Mishandled it for a moment. Kings are back at full strength. And the puck tipped out to the left point. Held in by Hunt. And his shot deflected off of Hall, and he had to bring it back to center ice.
He wants a change, and yeah, that's what the Oilers are going to get right here. Just get that change. 4 shots by the Oilers. They get the job done as far as chances. Scramble chances. The Kings do a good job at least making sure the putbacks weren't just the one-timer variety. And the Kings holding on to that 2-goal lead.
Oilers up to center ice. Drive it into the Kings zone. Puck played by the Kings and cleared to the blue line and out to center ice. Shoveled out by Michael Mersch. Oilers with it again into the Kings zone. A shot and a save and a rebound up the middle. Kings have it. Came right off a quick up the middle, and the Kings back to center, and the net behind the play is off, and play is whistled down.
And that was Jordan Nolan getting back to help out there, and just he ended up sliding and sliding and sliding. And it was Nolan that made contact with the net. Now where the faceoff ends up will be a determining factor, but you see Nolan keeps going. He's protecting himself right there. And the faceoff will just be outside the blue line. That's where the puck was at the time. Not deliberate at all by Jordan, but certainly doing a good job making sure you got to get back there and help out. With 14:10 remaining. Now the Kings will see if they can get back. Now they're back to even strength and try to get some possession game going like they did in the second period.
Kings have it at center. Here's McNabb, or McBain, I'm sorry. I get those two mixed up every game. At least one.
So it slows down again with another stoppage, and maybe not a bad thing again here for the Kings. The Oilers matching line. Tom McClellan trying to get his combinations out there. The Kings go with the veteran presence. Back to that struggle of who's going to get the next one. 40 shots now by the Oilers. So they've had the opportunities. And of course, the Kings had at least 2 of the 4 goals considered bad goaltenders against the starter tonight, Cam Talbot.
Puck back behind the King net. Quick gives it, and the Kings get it up to Brown, and Brown clears it into the Oilers' zone, icing against the Kings. Most shots the Kings have allowed in a game this year, 45. That was the game at Montreal that the Kings won. So it's nearing that now, as Jim just said, 40 shots for the Oilers here tonight.
So the end zone face-off. Lewis is going to stay out there because of the icing, so he has to, but Pouliot, big man for the Oilers.
And on the draw here, the Kings have it. It's chipped up to center ice. Chipped ahead by Brown into the Oilers zone. Oilers start back up to center. Here's Andrei Sekera. Sekera's pass right side to Nugent Hopkins. He goes in deep. Nugent Hopkins behind the net. Pass in front. Tipped away by Quick. Picked up by McNabb. Now the Kings, nice tip pass there, but they didn't get it out. Oilers hold it in. Pouliot gets knocked down. McNabb gets it up the left side, and now up to center ice. Kings working on 3-on-2. Kopitar to Doughty. Doughty down the middle, but lost the puck there, and it's cleared back to center ice.
And the Kings had the clear cutout number attack. One of the few times they've had chances here in period number 3, and just couldn't make it happen. They're looking for those counterattacks. You're assuming that the Oilers are going to kind of take some chances.
Oilers into the King zone now, down by 2 goals. Puck comes in the corner, taken by Martinez. Rolls away from him, but the Kings get it back, and it's cleared out to center by Jake Muzzin. Oilers move it up in front of their own bench to Hall. Hall leaves it there, and Darnell Nurse drives into the King zone. And a whistle on an icing call here against
the Oilers. You want to take a look at the last face-off. Just because what Trevor Lewis does here. You see him go down to one knee there? You know you can't play the puck with a hand. The NHL, we've heard, is talking about making that illegal, where you can't drop to your knees on a face-off. They haven't included it in any Board of Governors meetings, but there is talk around the NHL. They want to get rid of that. Probably a safety factor once again.
Doughty shoots from the point and is blocked in front. Rebound. Pearson goes for it behind the net. He gets it over to Gabrick. Marian Gabrick. Now to Pearson. Oilers zone. Pearson driving. Comes around in front. His pass tipped away. He gets it again in the slot. Pearson shoots. Blocked. Rebound. Shot by Shore. Deflected wide. Kings with some pressure on now. Here's Shore. Shore back to the blue line. Picked up there and a shot wide off the boards and taken by the Oilers. They get it back up to center. Doughty back to get it. Oilers change on the fly. Doughty up to center. Gets it to Brown on the right wing. Brown across the line. Puck taken away by Gryba behind the net. Gryba now a pass up to center ice. Oilers with it again. Letestu sends it deep into the King zone. Picked up there, and now Brown with it. Dustin Brown up to center ice. Ahead to Dwight King. King can't get there. Puck taken and sent up the middle, and the Oilers get it back to the blue line. And then up to center ice. Brad Hunt has to peel back in his own zone. 11-11 left to go. Third period. Kings 4, Oilers 2. Hunt's pass on the right side. He's got it again. Kings take it away, and it's brought to center by Lucic. Poke checked away from him. And the Oilers come across the line. Here's Pouliot in deep in the slot, but the Kings get back to take it away. Kopitar got a stick on it. Now Lucic chasing it down into the Oilers zone. Taken away and cleared back up to center ice by Mark Fane. Kings regain control. Send it across the line, broken up by Sekera, and the Kings get it again. Back of the King blue line. Pass to Kopitar. Now it comes deep into the Oilers zone. No icing here. Sekera back to get it. Sekera's pass. Knocked down behind the net. And Lucic getting it. And now an Oiler down on the ice. Injured.
A stick got caught up. I'm not sure if it was a King or an Oilers stick. It may have gone jammed right on the crossbar post also. It was Taylor Hall that went down, and he's back up with the puck right now.
Nolan drove it in. He's got it again in the Oilers zone. Nolan, left side, trying to get it up the middle. Now it's taken by Muzzin with a shot and a save by Nielsen. Draisaitl has it. Couldn't clear it out. Getting knocked down, and a penalty to the Oilers as Muzzin got taken down.
Now there's going to be a hand pass which stops the play because the Kings had possession, but you're right, Bob. There's going to be a hold against the Oilers, so the Kings put some pressure on, come right back at it. Taylor Hall feels he was high stick, maybe his own stick. Kings lead by 2. I thought they were going on the power play, but watch what happens. Hall goes for the puck, and it's Sekera's stick that comes up and gets him, so it's his own teammate. That's the reason the referees didn't make the call. A couple seconds later, Muzzin jumping by right there, lunging in. The tackle by Hall, so the Kings end up with the man advantage. 40 to 30 shots on goal in favor of the Oilers. Kings looking to regroup and reset it. They have here the last couple of shifts. Now a big chance here to settle things down and really take control on the power play.
Kopitar will move in to take the draw. The Kings 0 for 1 on the power play. They had no shots with that man advantage. Face off in the Oilers zone. Toffoli, Kopitar, Lucic up front, Doughty and Martinez at the points. Puck taken now by Kopitar. Back to Martinez. Over to Doughty. Back to Martinez. Back to Kopitar. Back up the middle and offside. Martinez tried to hold it onside, couldn't do it. It came across the line.
Yeah, you're just trying to get someone isolated where they can make a move and create a 2-on-1. Not happening. And Martinez just runs out of room right there. It's time to treat yourself to no fees. LA Kings tickets, all home games in January. Act fast, those tickets are very limited. The sale ends also on January 1st at noon. Information, visit LAKings.com/no fees.
Minute 44 to go in the King power play. Kopitar wins the draw over to Doughty. Doughty looking for room on the right side. He pulls up, drives it hard around the boards. It comes to the left side to Martinez. He drives it and it's deflected into the corner, and the loose puck is held in by Kopitar. Kopitar back to the blue line now into Lucic. Lucic hits it around and out to center ice. He's trying to get it out to Doughty. Doughty chased it back into the King zone. Minute 15 to go in the power play for the Kings. Doughty up to center, tipped all the way down in deep by Toffoli. Oilers zone. Oilers trying to get control of it there. Toffoli trying to dig it out. Kopitar is there. So is Lucic. They battle down in the corner. Puck comes loose. Oilers have it. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins up to center ice. They got a 3-on-2 shorthanded. Nugent-Hopkins right side. He shoots. Deflected behind the net. And the Kings get back to break it up. Lucic puts it into Martinez. Martinez checked in the corner. He got knocked down. Oilers, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins took it away, but Martinez got up and got it again. 36 seconds to go in the King power play. Doughty moves it up to center ice. Here is Dwight King. He drives it into the Oilers zone. Chased in there by Trevor Lewis, and it bounces up over the glass into the crowd with 8:16 to go in the third.
Of course, the Kings continue their trip around the Pacific Division, Alberta style. Tonight, Edmonton. A couple nights from now, Calgary Flames. One game above. They're playing tonight right now against Anaheim at home. They've won 11 in a row at home. Johnny Hockey, Mark Giordano's back. So the Calgary Flames doing what they did last year, getting behind, but they're coming back late in games.
Round to Lewis, to McBain, to Muzzin. Muzzin shoots, save, rebound. Lewis shoots, rebound in front again, and a score! On the rebound, Dustin Brown on the left side, and the Kings have a 3-goal lead again at 5-2.
Well, you just have to have the patience, and Muzzin, when he was walking the line here, he picks the right time. And it's really nice to see Dustin Brown rewarded. And he's been involved tonight, a couple smart plays. Shot gets through once, misses, goes to the other side, and then backhand by Dustin Brown. So just getting it through, but it started at the blue line. Jake Muzzin was able to walk the line, didn't shoot initially. He held on, then he put it in. This might be banking off a defender. Goaltender didn't know where it was, so he squeezed it together. No, it goes in all before Nurse can get there.
So the Kings get a little breathing room here.
We're just taking a look here, Bob, just to make sure, because it did look kind of awkward, but I think from the views we had, it looked like, no question, backhand chip by Dustin Brown, and then off to the far side. So, you know, Jake Muzzin with his head up, he's trying to figure things out. He's trying to find the puck and trying to make it happen, but you're trying to get that angle, the clear angle to the net without the shot being blocked. And once it gets down low, that's when you pounce on the loose puck. Dustin Brown, the last guy to get there. Kings lead 5-2.
Brown with his fourth that becomes on the power play. And the puck down in the Oilers zone again. The Kings have it. Turning and a shot tipped off the boards and going to be played by the Oilers in the corner. They get it back in behind the net. Lewis will get an assist on the goal. 11:58 was the time of the goal. Puck driven right back into the Oilers zone. Brown from Lewis and Muzzin at 11:58. Puck sent up to center ice by the Oilers now and deep into the King zone. Puljak chasing it in. Martinez gets back, gives it to Muzzin. He got it to the right point, but not out. Shot knocked down, rebound to Gabrick. Gabrick in the King zone. Shovels it up ahead to center. Now a pass into the Oilers zone, out of the reach of Shore. Comes back up to center ice, and Muzzin diving, gets a stick on it to clear it back toward the Oiler line. Gazdic, pass ahead into the King zone, chased in by Muzzin. He takes a look, Letestu chasing him down. Muzzin cleared it the length of the ice, and an icing call against the Kings.
Well, when you have the lead like the Kings do now, you can take those icings. Again, the puck walked across once. Watch Muzzin, he's kind of on the side. Fake, hold, take it, change the angle. And by getting it down low, that allows Lewis to jump on it, and here it allows Brown to chip it in finally. And you work on that daily almost for defensemen at the NHL level. Even if you're not on the power play, you're working on just ways to get it by that first wave. It's so important nowadays. Forwards are so good at blocking. You get it by the first wave, you got a stick handle, you got to change your feet, you got to change the angle, and get it through.
Dustin Brown with a goal and 2 assists in this game tonight as the puck slides all the way back into the Oilers zone. This will be another icing call against the Kings. 6:43 left to go now in the third period.
More leeway here because of the lead again, just to get it down and resort. Down the quick takes a breather on his knee. The Oilers not backing off, looking to win face-offs. Nick Shore trying to do one here for the game.
Quick second in the NHL and wins with 19. Balls face off and they'll do it again. Quick against Edmonton lifetime, 16-1-5. At the other end, Anders Nilsson, his first appearance against the Kings in his career. Puck is backhanded down in deep by Martinez into the Oilers zone. Oilers back in to try and pick it up. And they do, and they start it up ahead. Letestu to center. Mark Letestu, left side. Gazdic with a shot and a glove save by Quick. So with 6:20 to go in the third period, that's the 41st shot of the game by the Oilers, but the Kings lead 5-2.
Well, let's analyze this game. Toyota's going to tell us that Dwight King comes back, looks good. Moving his feet, gets his first goal of the season. Michael Mersch, 9th NHL game. Big body down low, stuffs it home. First career goal. Tyler Toffoli, he gets another one. And Kings get a big power play goal here in the third by Dustin Brown. They lead it 5-2.
In the King zone, Lewis against Draisaitl on the draw. Oilers win the faceoff. Darnell Nurse tried to come into the corner, dropped it off, then a shot tipped up in the air and knocked down by Quick. Picked up by King. That could have been trouble. It bounced off a Quick. Oilers hold it in, but now the Kings take it away, and Lewis gets it up to center ice. Oilers get back as Schultz breaks it up. Nurse in his own zone. Oilers. Teddy Purcell with it now. One time, short period of time with the Kings. Drives it back behind the net. Purcell was with the Kings in 2007. Puck comes all the way back into the Oilers zone, and icing called against the Kings.
Well, it was a close call there, Bobby Ramesh, because Jonathan Quick thought he was going to get to a loose puck. It was high in the air. When he left his net here, Purcell just kind of gets it there because of its off his stick. He's going to get there, he doesn't. And that's when you need your teammates. Look at that, Dwight King way back on the far side, collapsing, sensing the possible trouble just in case. Well, the just in case was needed because he was there to break it up.
Pouliot on the draw, but the Kings win the faceoff. Lewis facing off for the Kings. Puck is cleared up in the air to center ice. Sekera back to get it for the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers have won 7 straight at home. They're trying to set a club record. But an icing call here against the Oilers, and now the faceoff back in the Edmonton zone.
It really slows down here. The Kings had all those icings because they're just kind of trying to slow the game down. The Oilers getting the icing because they're trying to counterattack quickly as possible to just kind of catch the Kings back on their heels. So everyone involved once again tonight, that total team effort. The Kings have that commanding 3-goal lead.
Kings with it, left point, held in by Muzzin, drives it into Kopitar. Kopitar checked there by Nugent Hopkins. Kopitar still had it. He got stopped there, and the puck cleared out to center ice. Muzzin trying to knock it down out of his body so he can find it. It got caught up for a little bit in his equipment. Fane back behind the net. Mark Fane out of Nashua, New Hampshire, and Providence College. Used to be with the Devils. Sekera now. Back up to center. He played 16 games for the Kings last season. At 4 points. Puck comes back out to the left point. Held in there by Everly, but now taken away by McNabb. McNabb checked there as the Kings. Kopitar comes in to get it behind the net to Doughty. 4.5 minutes to go in the third period. Kings send it into the Oilers zone. The goaltender, Nilsson, comes out trying to catch the Kings in a line change. Passed it all the way to the blue line, but it didn't work. Puck is at center ice. Korpikoski goes for it there. But the Kings take it away, and they get it now to Shore. Nick Shore in the Oilers zone. Shore down into Gabrick. Gabrick leaves it for Pearson. Pearson has Shore in front of the net. Pearson wrap around, can't get a good shot, and the puck cleared back out to center. Kings back in to get it. The official stats have giveaways. Kings 1, Oilers 10. Puck at center here across the line. Gabrick rolls away from him. Oilers have it. 3:45 to go in the third. Taken there, and Anton Landers sends it in the King zone. Doughty down in the corner. Gazdic comes in for the Oilers. McNabb there for the Kings. So is Andrioff. Oilers dig it out. Pass to the blue line to Nurse. He threw it toward the net. Broken up there and gathered in by Quick, and he hangs on. So we're down to 3:22 to go in the third, with the Kings leading 5-2.
Goodbye to this building. 3:22. They have a 3-goal lead. Oil Country for a long period of time here at Rexall Place. Been called a lot of things over the years. The Northlands Coliseum, the retired numbers, and of course, the one that stands out probably over the other ones, the Mr. 99, the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Man, he led some teams here, I'll tell you. I would say the teams in the Mid-East, the best teams I've seen.
Yeah, we saw maybe a little too much of them. Puck back in the Oilers zone. We've talked about the memories in this building and the great moments. Well, certainly it's going to be a great memory for Michael Murch. He gets his first ever NHL goal here. And a nice memory for Dwight King. Comes back after a broken foot, his first game of the season, and he scores the first goal of the game.
Dustin Brown goes down after a little collision right there. He's shaken up on the play.
He got whacked earlier up around the lip, but he's had a good night. A goal and 2 assists for Brown. Puck driven around the boards and back out to the right side and held in there by the Oilers. Now the Kings zone. Everly tried to put it down the corner. Martinez stepped into him. Pouliot checked there by Kopitar. Oilers still with it in the top of the slot. Shot wide to the right. Pouliot goes for it. 2:20 to go in the third. To the blue line. Held in there by Fane. Drives it around the left side. Taken by the Oilers, and it is cleared out to center. Poked away there, and Muzzin getting his stick on it. Jonathan Quick, 11-0-2 in his last 13 starts against the Oilers coming into this game.
Much more busy tonight than last night. Not only just shots on goal, but the scramble chances the Oilers had and opportunities. And the last night, Jonathan and the Kings were in control of the game.
Korpikoski in the slot, turns, can't get a good shot. Right side it goes, now up the middle. Letestu with a drive wide. Rebound, they try to bank it off a Quick, but he makes the save against the goalpost.
Ends up on the back side of the net. The referees normally will try to let this go, but they feel here because there's one save and then there's on the back. So now, with all these players kind of scrunched up together, with the puck on the back of the net, there's potential for injury. And again, if no one's around, they'll give you a chance to move it. The Kings just trying to wind this one down. Andrioff out there. The Kings have used everyone tonight, rotating the lines back to back. Daryl Sutter likes to do that anyway. Really didn't shorten the bench at all.
Oilers, Kings zone, shot saved by Quick, and he covers it up again. The Kings, if they hang on to this, and there's a minute 30 to go, and they got a 3-goal lead, they'll be 22-2-7 in the last 31 games against the Oilers. And in the last 17 road games, the Kings would be 13-1-3.
The record against the Oilers, and just again that little thing Bob you were mentioning basically all season long. The Kings will stay overnight tonight in Edmonton. They will not go directly to Calgary. That's kind of a difference from past years where normally you kind of fly out right after the game. It's been changed this year, and so far with the road record, working pretty good.
Oilers win the draw, and it is cleared out to center ice. I want to thank our statistician Kevin Eccleston and our stage manager Bill Friesen for their help here tonight in Edmonton. If everything goes according to plan, the Oilers will be in their new building next season in downtown Edmonton, and it is going to be an outstanding modern building. As the puck comes up to center ice here on the right side, cutting in, a shot by Lander is wide. Less than a minute to go here in the third. To the blue line, now tipped by Eberle into the corner. The Oilers were trying to win 8 straight at home, and it looks like they are not going to be able to do it. 43 seconds left to go. 8 straight. But they're not going to get it. They're down 5-2 with 39.4 to go.
Time now for tonight's Mercedes-Benz Star of the Game, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz dealers in Southern California. And for the second night in a row, it's my honor to give it to a man who scores his first career NHL goal last night, Derek Corbett. Tonight, Michael Mersch. And the Kings will pick up another 2 points.
Jonathan Quick trying to get his 20th win of the season. Puck is taken by Hall and cleared out to center. The Kings, 10 goals in the last 2 games. Puck comes over left side and held in. They had 5 last night in Vancouver, 5 here again tonight. And they've had 14 goals in the last 3 games. And they have a chance to widen their lead in the Pacific to 11 points, depending upon what happens in some other games here tonight in the NHL.
Yeah, the Pacific is an interesting. I guess when you're in the Pacific, you'll call it interesting. When you're outside the Pacific, people are calling it the weakest division in the NHL right now. The Kings don't care what they're calling it. They're just staying near the top and staying there as quick and as long as possible. It's something, of course, the Kings not making the playoffs last year, turning around this year. So Calgary, they drop the game tonight to Anaheim 1-0. So that's a regulation score. So that ends 11 in a row from them at home. So the streak's coming to the end in Alberta. The Kings here in Edmonton. And the Ducks in Calgary.
Chicago had the lead on Arizona. Don't know if that one is over yet, but this one is. Kings win it 5-2 on a big second period with goals from King, Mersch, Toffoli, and Lewis, and then Brown added the 5th in the third period. So the Kings will move on to Calgary. That is going to be on Thursday night. We'll be on the air 5:30 Kings Live, 6 p.m. the game. For Jim Fox, this is Bob Miller. Thanks for being with us. Kings Live coming up next.